I just realized my mic wasn't turned on. So what's up, guys, and welcome back to the UGC Dota 2 League. This is going to be game number 2 of the best of 2 series between Throwing Pains and EXGamesPro. And, well, game number 1 currently going the way of Throwing Pains. And it was a really messy game, to say the least. It is going to be the same first pick and same side assignments, so both teams happy with where they were. But yeah, last game was incredibly messy. There was miscounted mana several times, actually. There was janky skill builds, bad dual lanes. It had it all. It was missing a romance subplot, but I think I could do without for one game. So, a little bit weird as to how the games actually panned out. But, you know what? That's fine. Because we're just going to be taking this one a little bit easy. Because Throwing Pains, they won last game, and they're more than okay with saying, yo, it worked. It worked and it worked, so we're not going to touch it again. Doom and Shadow Shaman going to be the openers for them. Now, I seriously hope that Throwing Pains aren't picking Doom with the intention of going for the jungle. As good as Doom is as a hero, when you jungle him, he tends to be way too passive. Last game, he barely did anything until he had like 10 minutes of free farm, in which case he used Doom and helped out with the pushes a little bit, but ultimately not too much. So, I think Throwing Pains should benefit a lot more if they play with flexibility in mind. Make sure that the Doom has always the potential to be going safe lane. Hell, even consider throwing him into the mid lane a couple of times. It is not the best, but if you have a circumstance that warrants it, why not go for it? The picks and bans, I realize I just haven't gone over that much, but bans looking pretty offlane heavy for X Games. They're also going to get the Mirana, Death Prophet going to get a ban, and then Throwing Pains is going to throw a Respect ban towards the Slark. It was a nuisance, but it definitely wasn't unmanageable from Throwing Pains. X Games are going to go for Coddle of the Light with the Silencer Faceless Void. Now, Faceless Void first pick, that's just perfectly reasonable. It's the Silencer and Keeper of the Light that gets me, because here's where these two heroes are normally seen. With Silencer, you typically want to pick him up when the enemies are going to be running a full-on teamfight strategy. Like, if they have Ravages and Black Holes and all that stuff, then Silencer gets a lot better. Currently, that's not the case. With Keeper of the Light, you want to pick him up when the enemy is running a very aggressive pushing strategy, but it's unit-based pushing. So when you're expecting Treants and Eidolons and Necrobooks, stuff like that, then you just have to charge up that Illuminate, fire that one off, and then be fine because you are never ever going to be pushed by units ever again. Currently, that's not what Throwing Pains are doing either. They're going for a little bit pushing the Shadow Shaman, but it's not unit-based pushing. It's ward-based pushing, which the Serpent Wards don't care about. What the hell is this game? The Serpent Wards don't care about your Illuminates. Throwing Pains, their third pick is going to be an Omni Knight, okay? And then we have a Bloodseeker. I don't even know anymore. Like, honestly, I'm glad these teams are having fun, because I'm certainly enjoying myself. So, Bloodseeker. The Silence is going to actually be incredibly useful, and Throwing Pains, they have Doom and a couple of disables. I can actually see this Bloodseeker working out. Throwing Pains, they have to put someone really strong in the mid lane, and I'm sure they'll have their fair share of options. Brewmaster still in the pool could absolutely destroy Bloodseeker, but they're instead going to go with the Venomancer once again. So it's going to be Omni Knight, Shadow Shot. Oh man, are they just going to put Doom in the jungle again? The X Games, I guess it's fine, because X Games are not capable of punishing it. Silencer Keeper of the Light is an incredibly weak dual lane, or two support hero combination, I should say. Silencer, if he is going to be played support, then he is going to be doing less than jack. He can't rotate. His damage is rather low. He has 0 setup for the Keeper of the Light, and it's overall uninspiring. If he's played as a core, I could see that. So you're going to have a Faceless Void off lane, or solo lane, let's say. Silencer supported by Keeper of the Light, and someone with a stun, hopefully. Like a Vengeful Spirit would be fantastic right now. But X Games, their lineup is looking pretty janky. Once again, Throwing Pains, with the Omni Knight pickup, it's a slight switch out from what they ran last time. What did they have last time? It was Venomancer, Panda, and Venomancer, Luna. It was Panda and Luna. So Omni Knight is going to be swapped out for one of them. It's most likely going to be played as that additional support, I want to say. So we're going to have Shadow Shaman, Omni Knight, Doom as the defensive tri-lane. Getting Doom that farm is always going to be incredibly useful. Then once he gets his farm, maybe gets a Blink Dagger and Venomancer gets farm, they could just look to Doom push. Because right now, Throwing Pains, they have 3 quote-unquote support heroes. Although Omni Knight, Venomancer can be played as cores, they're typically not the strongest. Slark and Luna are going to be the final bans out for these respective teams in X Games. What are they looking for right now? I said before, they're looking for a very nice stun setup for the Keeper of the Light, or Bristleback. Okay, so they're going to be running a Silencer support, which I have my reservations about. It's a hero that, although the Last Word level 1 does do some pretty serious damage, 150 at level 1 is not bad at all. He actually doesn't do that much aside from that. And X Games now, what is their laning situation going to be like? It's got to be Bloodseeker mid, Bristleback off, and a tri-lane with the Faceless Void, Silencer, Keeper. It's not the worst by any means, but they are really, really stun light. In fact, the only stun they actually have is Chronosphere, and that is not exactly the stun you want to be relying upon. X Games, I don't know, because like the Bloodseeker, Bristleback are kind of more of the run and gun type of fighters. They don't want to be, stuck in one place or fighting within the duration of Ravage. They want to take the fight as long as it can go, get the advantage of Quill Spray, get the advantage of Bloodbath as well as Thirst. Whereas Silencer and Faceless Void, they're more of like one-shot heroes. They want to win the fight within a small duration, whether that be 4 seconds of the Global Silence or the 4 seconds of Chronosphere. They want to have the fight completely won or almost won by the time those spells are up. And it's possible they could do it, but it's kind of just like the left side of X Games lineup is tugging in one direction and the right side is tugging in another. It might come back to bite them in the ass, especially since they don't have any stuns. It'll be very difficult for them to be super aggressive versus Throwing Pains, which they, I guess, only have one stun in the Shadow Shaman, but they have a lot more crowd control. Now with an Ember Spirit last pick, okay, I could buy this for Throwing Pains. I have no idea what their lane assignments are going to be like. Looks like Doom is getting played once again by Schwegs, so I mean, it's possible that we're just going to be seeing just another jungle Doom, which I really hope is not the case. But it is going to be the case. Oh man, Jungle Doom, you better hope you don't get punished. And I think in this game you might not be, so I guess as long as it works out. But Ember Spirit as the last is going to be very, very mobile, and with mobility, that means X Games are not going to be able to lock him down, with the exception of the Chronosphere. Chakra Magic, maybe a little bit later. Blood Rage is a little bit annoying for the Ember, but Ember should be just fine wherever he goes. I expect him to be the most threatening here on the map, especially when he has backup from the Omni Knight. Being able to heal or just repel off, I guess you could repel off Last Word. Yeah, that actually works. You could also repel off Curse of the Silent. You may not be able to repel it off, but you will take no damage from it. No, you do repel it off. Yes, you repel it off. I'm crazy. So, yeah, they're going to be going for pretty much the exact same laning situation as last game. We have Sinbu playing the Ember Spirit instead of the Brewmaster. GSO is going to be on the Shadow Shaman. Schwegs is on the Doom. That leaves Sam on the Omni Knight, and top lane is going to be Jargle once again as his Venomancer, doing the exact same thing as last time. Langy is going to be this time playing the defensive lane, Faceless Void, along with Akkot Silencer and Juma's Keeper of the Light. Bottom lane is going to be Gyler playing the Bristleback, and mid lane is going to be left for Nerium. This is going to be most likely a Bloodseeker versus, well, I mean, Sinbu's kind of positioned down here to go for a tri-lane. Oh man, guys, oh man. I just got outplayed in my head because there is an Omni Knight solo mid versus Bloodseeker. Now, if you want my professional opinion on this hero matchup, I'm sorry, but I can't really give it to you. I've never seen these two. I've never casted a game where these two have gone at it in the mid lane. It just hasn't happened. That being said, Omni Knight should not be winning this lane. The Bloodseeker has a Quelling Blade, so he should be able to outlast hit the Omni Knight very handily. The Purification Bomb, as dangerous as it is not really threatening enough for Nerium to make him really scared, just because you'll be able to Bloodbath everything back. So any damage that the Omni Knight puts on, any damage that the Omni Knight puts onto the Bloodseeker is not going to stick. So I expect Nerium to have pretty much the run of the lane and for Omni Knight to suffer. But I do like this adaptation. They're going to go for Jargle up on top, but really, there's no disables between these two. This is why I really don't like Support Silencers. Support Keeper of the Light is such a better hero if it was someone with a stun, someone who could be aggressive. Anyone but Keeper of the Light, who kind of just sits there and does nothing, and is pretty much a tailor-made hero for anti-push. Which is all well and good if you're going up against push lineup, otherwise it's going to be fairly useless. Bottom lane should be pretty much on lockdown for the Throw side. Gyler's going to get his experience going, and there's not much that Throw could do about that, but at the same time, the Bristleback shouldn't be getting a lot of farm. If he steps up, he's most likely going to get shackled, or chained up, or it should have been both right there, but Gyler's going to survive one way or another. Between Bringer Protection and Stout Shield, he's not going to be dying anytime soon. So all these lanes in general should be favoring, or should either be favoring or neutral for Throw. And when you combine that with the fact that they have a Doom who's just happily farming away in the jungle, getting some pretty lucky camps as well. These satyrs are exactly what you want with Stout Shield to bring a protection opening. That means that the laning phase is probably going to be easily won by throw. 6 for 2 versus 6 for 2 for Omni-Knight. Omni-Knight is actually going very strong versus this Bloodseeker, who's going to be able to kill him off if the Bloodseeker stays a little bit too close. A Purification Bomb and then a couple more right clicks is going to kill off the Bloodseeker, who's actually gone for a bottle. Usually it's an unnecessary item for Bloodseekers to go for because they don't really need the mana and they have health from Bloodbath. But I guess if you're getting this much pressure, then having an extra restorative is always going to be nice. Now to Omni-Knight, you're going to spot out the fact that Juma's here. You're going to leave Akkot all alone up top to deal with this Venomancer, but going for Curse of the Silent versus Venomancer is really bad because Plague Wards just dispel it with 20 mana. It's pretty pathetic, actually. So I expect him to go very firmly into the last word and then even pick up a point of Glaives of Wisdom. Just for the value point of being able to harass back the enemy without drawing aggro is going to be incredibly useful for dealing with this Venomancer, who's currently getting quite a bit of experience, kind of mirrored on the other side, though, by the Bristleback. Mid lane's where most of the action's happening, but, you know, Schweg is having the time of his life in the jungle. He's level 3 at this point, and, well, last time he was level 3 when the Shadow Shaman support was level 4. This time he's definitely doing a lot better, keeping par with everyone else. It kind of has to do with the fact that he's getting some better camps. The Wolves, the Mud Golem, the Wolves and the Satyrs are really what you want to have to see. Everything else is a little bit less than ideal because they do hit a lot harder and they take a lot longer to fight down, like the Centaur. This is not a good matchup for the Doom, but he'll get through it, I'm sure. Actually, he's not winning this. He might not get through this. He's just going way too slowly. He doesn't have a Quelling Blade or anything like that, so Schwegs, you gotta back up. I'm sorry, man. He could pop... Yeah, now he could win, I think. It'll still take a really long time, though. Either way, 3 minutes in, we still have yet to see a First Blood. Sinbu's getting all the farm he could possibly want down on the bottom lane. He has gone for 2 points in Flame Guard, which is an okay skill no matter what. However, I don't really know if there's enough magic damage to make this worthwhile. If we do a quick count of the damage types of the X game side, we have Bristleback, who's pure physical. We have Bloodseeker, who's, let's just say pure physical. Blood Rage is not a nuke. Pure physical, and then Rupture is pure, so you're not going to be reducing that either way. Keeper of the Light is magical. Silencer is a little bit of magic, although not much. And then Faceless Void is pure physical. So Flame Guard build, I don't think is going to be the best. I'd really rather like to see him go for the Searing Chains build here. Against 3 other core melee heroes, having that additional Searing Chains is going to be incredibly useful because you know you're most likely going to be in melee range for a good portion of this game. Therefore, you might as well make it hit as hard as you can while you have the opportunity to cast it. Either way, he's going to be able to do some pretty serious damage, and, you know, sustained magic damage versus anyone is never really too terrible. Bloodseeker is doing okay, kind of as predicted in this middle lane. Omni-Knight, though, is doing a lot better than I thought, with the Orb of Venom also picked up. Akkot's found himself an Invisibility Rune, but he can't really do anything here, unfortunately. The Bristleback can probably dive deeply for these two, but it's a level 5 Ember Spirit and a level 3 Shadow Shaman versus level 3 and level 3 lane. So, yeah, I don't really think Akkot's going to be able to do jack up down this bottom lane, except for maybe poke at GSO a little bit. Always thrown out by this guy's name, because there's a semi-pro player named CSO. I'm a lot more used to calling people that. Shadow Shaman's going to take a little bit of damage, but now Sinbu is going to run right in with Phase Boots. Akkot is going to get right upon, and, well, he doesn't have enough mana for Searing Chains, unfortunately for him, but the Flame Guard is going to stick because Akkot doesn't have anything to burn through it. That's going to be First Blood, drawn by Sinbu, now going to go towards Skylar. The shock is going to happen. It's going to give Sinbu a double kill. Very, very easy Flame Guard, and really the Phase Boots making the difference there. Sinbu's now at level 6, and kind of as predicted, he's going to have the time of his life. Like, this guy has had no pressure whatsoever. Bristleback hasn't pressured back a whole bunch in the meantime. The Ember Spirit should get his drums up, or his Battle Fury. I think at this point you could just skip drums and go for Battle Fury. You're doing so well. First Blood and a secondary kill on top of that is pretty much the dream start for anyone, let alone an Ember Spirit. So getting a Ring of Health, something like that, could really help him in going for that Battle Fury. And as I said before, when you're dealing with 3 melee units, or 3 melee enemy cores, the Battle Fury gets a lot better because, again, you're going to be in close contact with the enemies. You might as well make every single hit count. Odds are he's going to be getting some cleave damage at the very least every single time he hits something. He's pretty low and he accidentally miscounted his mana. Sinbu seriously has that problem. This is like the 4th or 5th time I've seen him miscount mana. It was like twice with the Brewmaster, or 3 times with the Brewmaster, and then, well, I guess Curse of the Silent doesn't really help either. So Sinbu is unfortunately going to have to take the long trek back to the base. You will be fine, though, although here comes Bloodseeker. Rupture is going to pop the Ember Spirit. It's kind of weird playing against the Bloodseeker because you do have to worry about that kind of stuff. Like, if you are below half health, i.e. Doom, then you know that you are in a little bit of trouble. And I don't think the Bloodseeker can get a kill on Doom at this stage, but it's always something to keep your eyes out for, just because you are not used to being up against that scenario where half HP means odds are you're going to get jumped upon, such as this. Akit's going to find Doom because he had vision of the Doom, so he should know about where he is. Regardless, it is rotation number 1 from the Bloodseeker. Just using Rupture to pop a hero. Not too terrible. Now they're going to go in for mid now. Geiler can take quite a bit of damage from Sinbu. I think just run him down with the Flame Guard. It should be fine. Although the Bristleback level 1 is doing a little bit, it's definitely not doing enough. Sinbu's going to secure this kill, and now he has to worry about both Nerium as well as Akot. He does have GSO in order to support him, although Ember Spirit is not going to be able to do that much. He's actually just going to hide and TP out, I think. GSO in the meantime is going to be brought down. 2 intelligence going the way of Akot and Sinbu. He's still spotted out, and he doesn't have a TP. He's going to jump deep into the trees, but he should have went into lane. He doesn't have enough mana now, so he has to fight it out. So pretty big bad misplay from Sinbu. I don't think he was going to survive there anyway. But no matter what, if you jump this way, you have a chance at living. Either way, I'm pretty sure he was screwed. So it is going to even up the score of this game 3-3 as it stands. Nerium's making his presence in this lane totally worth it now that he has 2 kills and that 1 assist on top of that. He's sitting on 1,000 gold, and this Bloodseeker can go pretty much for anything. Now, typically what I see from pro games is that they go for, well, not Sange. It's usually the Blade Mail, then you just run at people and they can't really do anything in response. Although Radiance is going to be a decent option as well, seeing as though it will pretty much ensure that you can pretty much ensure that he gets it in time, and also he'll be able to put some serious damage on the enemy. Sinbu now going to get the jump onto Bloodseeker. He tried to go deep for GSO. He will survive. No, the shock will kill him off. Now Sinbu is going to go for more. Geiler's going to take a little bit of damage from that fire jump, and that will be that. And now Ember Spirit kind of low on mana. Doesn't have a bottle or anything like that. Has 1 jump forward for Akot, but I don't think he get him. You probably shouldn't chase this. Yeah, it's a bad idea. Regardless, they do get 2 kills on 2 pretty difficult to kill heroes. Bristleback with level 2 Bristleback, his namesake, in his skill. And the Bring Up Basilisk Stout Shield is hard to bring down. But now with Sam here, in order to help out, the Omnight's going to heal himself, because that's what Omnights do. They're all asses like that. They're never going to heal you. He's actually gone for 3 points degen, 3 points purification. I think against 3 melee heroes, this is the only time where I would say degen is really going to be good. Ordinarily, most of the time at this early stage, it's not really going to be doing that much, but when you're on a core Omni Knight like this, you could afford to be going for more degen and being more aggressive because you have the levels to back it up. Purification level 4 is definitely going to... The lack of Purification level 4 is definitely going to hurt them now, but I don't really think it's going to matter. They're just going to go deep for Geiler. In fact, Guardian Angel is up, and the Venomancer ult is going to pop as well. Geiler's going to be annihilated. Oh, man. Franker Z. Look at this. The hammer is literally about to drop onto Geiler. Guys, this is going to be... This is going to be a photo finish. Unfortunately, everything's a little bit blurry. But Omni Knight is ready to lay the smackdown on this Bristleback. Oh, there it is. Oh, God, they unpaused. Okay, well, Bristleback's dead. And Ember Spirit actually got him. It was the Flame Guard dot that ultimately did it. And after that, they're going to very easily take this tower. They're going to just death ball it up right now. Guardian Angel was used kind of unnecessarily. Sinbu going to move forward. He's going to TP out, in fact, and then, you know, just jump right back with his Remnant. The rest of the team is going to be hit with a 1-man Chronosphere. Nothing too dangerous there. GSO is an acceptable loss right now as Schwegs is going to get doomed, but he does... he's going to get ruptured, but he does doom up near him. Here comes Sinbu once again. Get on the shackles and get a double kill instantly. Now going to go for Juma. This is going to be the death of the Keeper's Light. Let's take a look at what's happening down bottom. They actually killed off the Bloodseeker. I guess that's just a Purification Bomb. Yeah, it must have been. So that's going to be a triple kill for Sinbu, and ultimately a 3-for-1, maybe even 4-for-1. Geiler is now in a little bit of trouble as well. The Searing Chains are going to land. He's going to be very slowly burned down, a little bit quicker now with the Purification. I don't know why Sam didn't heal Sinbu. Could have definitely helped him out there, but Sinbu should be just fine. It seemed like we did have a couple of lag issues. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But I don't really know if that was entirely to blame. Like, it seemed pretty clear what the game plan was for X Game. So yeah, it's going to be a disconnect for Keeper Light. So I guess you could kind of say that that was a lag issue, but I don't really know if that was enough. Let's see if I actually know how to check ping. Could I just... No, that's not how you do it. I need to bring up the console. Where's my console? Okay, I don't know where my console went, so I can't do it. Guess we're not going to be doing that. But, yeah, Doom, I think, should... He has to get the aggro pulled. I think he is going to die. He might survive one. No, he's not going to survive one attack. Who am I kidding? 130 with 20%. 20% is 26. Yeah, he's dead. Unless he loses aggro. I don't know what the tower situation is like. But the Keeper Light did go down. And really, like, that Chronosphere was not a good way to start the fight. Going for the Hand of Midas, this game is, I feel, okay, but still, Throw, they have, off of the last game, shown that they are more oriented towards just deathballing and ending the game rather early. With the Venomancer and with the Omnite especially, that's to be the case. So, going for this Hand of Midas and the greedy build for X Games is probably not a good idea anymore, especially since Bristleback is getting utterly destroyed. Bloodseeker with an Ogre Club isn't going to be doing jack anytime soon. Global Silence is up, but it's definitely not enough to do anything, especially if the enemies already have, like, Guardian Angel. That's pretty much the worst case scenario for Silencer. It's what you want to be canceling. Guardian Angel or nothing. So we have a reconnect, and we might be getting this game back on the road as Schweg's kind of staring down a barrel of death. Tower is going to be hitting him one more time. I think this might be his death right here. He does have a lot of gold, and last time he bought up a plate mail first as his first item. It would be a much better item in this game, actually, since the enemies do have so much physical damage, so I wouldn't mind seeing a plate mail from him. You should spam buy it right now. He's going to buy it, and the tower did not aggro him, actually, so he's going to survive. However, Bloodseeker's going to be up soon enough. Omnite should probably start laying some heals on Sinbu, or they should teleport out or something. Okay, there's a heal on the Ember Spirit, and now Doom is going to TP out. Everyone's going to be fine, although Sinbu is still currently not in the great position. They're going to tank this tower for a little bit longer. Sam going to get hit with the Curse of the Silent, but he does have a Repel. He's going to repel that straight away, and Illuminate is going to do nothing after that. The Ember Spirit can jump back in if he does choose to do so, although currently in base it will probably be a better idea to just not do that. So we'll see. He's got to keep an eye on Sinbu, as he could go off like a cannon if we leave him alone for too long. Yeah, he's thinking about it. YOLO. You only Ember Spirit once. Come on. Ugh, boring. He's not going to do it. In the meantime, top lane, GSO isn't pushing up this lane. They do have Serpent Wards available, but I think it's going to just be go down to the bottom lane until the EXGamesPro side is just dead. I mean, they don't really have that much going for them. The only thing that they do have going for them is the fact that they do have a Rupture, and I guess an Illuminate level 3, which does do a pretty good amount of damage if you could land it, but that's really the hard part, landing that skill. Jargle's going to be running to the Bloodseeker, and this is going to be a death of Jargle. Unfortunately, he has no TP. Even if he had a TP, I don't really think it would have... Oh, he definitely would have gotten away. Never mind. So, unfortunate for the Mancer, he will not be getting...